Wait, so I'm just...
Okay.
All right, so everybody has a Google Doc open, right? And they've all shared it with their instructor.
Yep.
At the top of the Google Doc, go ahead and write your name, the period, the date. Date today is, oh, my Fitbit's dead. Womp womp. Yeah, the 19th. And then for like an assignment, like a fourth line, just go ahead and write AI art project or Sleep and Dreams AI art. Yes. M. Solorzano at travisusd.org. I'm going to erase this. I think this is their journalism class. MSOLORZANO. Hey, that's almost right. Creepily, my name's here. That's very consistent. Why is that? Okay. So what's going to go into this document? Folks, we still have some chatter in the back. Okay, what's going to go into this document is each iteration. Do we know what the word iteration means? An iteration is like one attempt. And then when you fix it and change it, you do another iteration. Okay? A lot of software development, a lot of capacity or skills in software engineering is about iterative, so with iterations, iterative change. You do something, you do a little tweak to fix it, and you go back and try it again. So each time you try a prompt today, just go ahead and copy paste it in and separate it out. You can put that in a table if you want. You can just separate it by spacing, whatever works for you visually, but I just want to see the kind of like progress. My suggestion is use a reverse order, okay? So put your oldest one at the bottom, your newest one above that, and then when you put in another new one, put it above that. Does that make sense? So you want the first thing you see on the first page to be the most recent prompt. Thank you. Okay. Marissa? Where's Marissa sitting? She's not here? Okay. All right. So we're going to begin by talking about AI and how prompts work and just how this technology works. Does anyone recognize the italicized title in quotes? Fellas? Does anyone recognize the italicized title in quotes? Someone want to read it out loud? Yes?
Do androids dream of electric sheep?
Do androids dream of electric sheep? So what do we think that means? Preston? How about this? Christian?
Isn't that from Blade Runner?
It is from Blade Runner.
Doesn't it mean like do androids have like minds, like humans?
So when we count sheep at night, have you ever heard that phrase? Like trying to go to sleep, you count sheep. So this was a science fiction article or a book. Do androids dream of electric sheep? And Blade Runner was based on this story. So it's the idea that like, hey, let's say we create artificial intelligence one day. Are they going to dream like us? So that's why this is kind of I'm tying these two things together for you. We've talked about sleep. We've talked about dreams. We've talked about how to have good sleep, how to wake up. By the way, just by a quick show of hands, did anybody look at the sunlight for 5 minutes this morning? I did. Did you? Juan? Braxton? Remember your name again? Brian. So several of us did. Did it work? Did you feel more alert? Ethan? Yeah, I think it worked. I put a chair out, sat there with coffee. 5 minutes later, I honestly felt more awake because the sun had been hitting on my eyes. So I recommended everybody this morning. So, prompt engineering. What is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering by McKinsey, which is a top consulting firm. When you graduate college, they'll be recruiting at your college fair. It is the practice of designing inputs for AI tools that will produce optimal outputs. If you all want to take notes on this Google Doc, that's also a good option if you just want to like record this information. So let's look at that. Designing inputs for AI tools that will produce optimal outputs. The thing to think about here is that AI is a tool. It takes information in and it produces information on the other side. There are ways that we can use this tool that make the information we give it produce a better outcome. That's the engineering of prompts. McKinsey describes it like cooking a meal, but instead of just taking like store-bought spaghetti sauce and low-grade pasta and everything, you get fresh ingredients and everything's fresh from the garden, and then the outcome at the end is a lot better, okay? Skilled prompt engineers design inputs that interact optimally with other inputs in a Gen AI tool. So it's about optimizing what you put in so you can get a better output. Like I said, this gets technical quick, well beyond my capacity, and also well beyond what we need at this level. So we're gonna start with something intuitive, visual information. You're gonna be asking it to draw something, and you'll know right away whether it looks right to you or not. Does that make sense? It's a very simple, intuitive thing. Also, what I think you're all gonna realize is AI is not very good at all. Because you'll ask it to do something and it won't do it. Yes?
Are we going to be using seeds?
Seeds? I'm not sure. What do you mean by seeds?
It's like a long string of numbers that kind of changes.
I don't know. I would say try it. I'm not familiar with it, but interesting question. Will we use seeds? So here's some recommended strategies from OpenAI. The first two are the ones I want to focus on. Write clear instructions and provide reference text, okay? Then there's others here. Split a big task into smaller tasks. Ask the model to think before it just gives you a quick response. Use external tools like have another piece of software optimize the inputs for you. We're not going to need to do any of that. Test changes against like a reference standard. So the first two again are the most relevant. The less the model has to guess at what you want, the more likely you'll get it. Include details in your query to get more relevant answers. So, does somebody want to read the worse prompt on the right? Ethan?
How do I add numbers in Excel?
How do I add numbers in Excel? All right, so who wants to read the better prompt on the right? Noah?
How do I add up a row of dollar amounts in Excel? I want to do this automatically for a whole sheet of rows, all the totals ending up on the right of the column, called total.
Okay, so what are some of the specific details in this prompt? Anybody? Anyone? Ethan?
Automatically in the whole sheet of rows.
So he's saying the automatically for a whole sheet, identifying what that output will look like. Naisha, I think you had your hand up. What's like one detail from here? Yeah.
Where they want the totals at?
Yes. So they want to know what it's going to look like, where it's going to go. They say dollar amount, so they say what kind of information that you're giving it. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Next, write clear instructions. Ask the model to adopt a persona or provide examples, which is called few shot prompting. So this is really where yesterday's presentation on all the different art movements is supposed to help you. Now you can say, do this scene, this person's holding a coffee cup, the sun is rising, but in the style of, or like the artist blank, right? You're giving it information so it can be more precise. So here's where I would recommend art movements, brush stroke styles, color palette, or, and again, I'm emphasizing the public domain artists. I don't want any living artists because there's a lot of ethics around using AI art with living artists. It's like essentially stealing their work. From this company, Level Up Coding, they recommend to experiment and iterate. We talked about iteration at the beginning. So here's an example where one change was made between the first and the second. So in the first example, create a digital painting of a serene forest at dawn in the style of Impressionism. What they added was with vibrant colors, because the initial version was maybe too dark. In the second here, use analogies and metaphors. Now this is where it starts to get a little creepy and magical. How is it that you can tell a computer, create a painting that captures the emotion of a violin playing a melancholy tune, okay? How is a computer supposed to know that? So there's a lot of background, what they call black box. We don't know how the thing works. We won't go into that today, but I'm encouraging you to use metaphors, because what I want you to try to do is get the machine to help you depict a dream, not perfect photo accurate, but more the feeling, the emotion, right? So this is a great tool that you'll have. And the last piece here, this is a lot of text, but it says collaborate and learn. Remember that prompt engineering is a collaborative process. It's not just about you talking to the AI, it's about working with the AI to create something new and unique. The beauty of AI art lies in the unexpected, the serendipitous, the magic that happens when human creativity meets AI's computational power. So here are some components of a prompt from Level Up Coding. A clear objective, artistic style, emotional tone, use of color, and level of abstraction. So why don't we all in our Google Docs retype this as best you can at the top as like an example prompt. Okay. Do we still need some time to copy, or are we feeling good? Okay. Are we good? Looks like we're good. One more comment. You can always do reverse engineering. So if you want more suggestions, more ideas on how to prompt AI, you can give it an image with many engines and then ask it to tell you how it would have prompted itself. So in this case, this is this image, and what the Midjourney bot is saying in return to the user is that it would have described it as, the Starry Night was created by person, comma, in the style of precisionism influence, comma, spirals, comma, large canvas paintings. You see how many commas and breaks there are? So you can talk to the computer in this non-natural way. You can just give it a bunch more information, and you can see how that works. I think there's two more here. And notice how this is like 4 different answers to the same image. It's not going to be perfect. It won't reproduce information exactly every time. That's part of accepting that it's a collaborative, loose, random kind of process. Because the AI actually doesn't know anything, it's just predicting text and predicting things. So, the number one website that I'm really hoping works, because it is Microsoft, it is Bing, I really hope the district hasn't put some sort of block on it, is going to be the Bing Image Creator. So I would say for everybody, Google that, Google it. Oh, I'm sure Bing's happy about that. But go ahead and find Bing Image Creator. ChatGPT also allows you to create images from their DALL-E engine. Midjourney, people really recommended it to me, but the challenge is it has to work through Discord, and I do not know if we have access to that. Then these two other websites I found were supposed to be free, Prodia and Pixray. Again, I couldn't say whether or not they work or if they're very good. But I'm really hoping that Bing Image Creator is something we can work with. So why don't I try to navigate to Bing Image Creator and see.
Yeah. Bing.
Okay. So I suppose if I go back to this, to model, good teaching behavior is always modeling. So I'll say create a post-impressionist artwork that embodies the theme of melancholy. How do I spell melancholy? With a focus on trains. The artwork should evoke feelings of longing and incorporate elements of, let's say, deterioration. Incorporate elements of the American West. Unbelievable. So are y'all able to use Microsoft Bing?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not apparently. I'll see if I can work on that.
See, it's a school account. I can go back. You really did. That way. this. What's it?
Oh, and we have to figure out where to put the images too. I suppose what you can do either in that same document after the prompt is like paste a copy of the image. Should be doable. Ultimately, we'll probably end up just selecting one that we really like, and we'll submit that to some sort of space on Google Classroom, and we'll make like a gallery out of it. And I think if we have more time tomorrow, what we may do is spend some time writing like a museum style gallery description of the image. That helps you do a little interpretation if you want.